A notification in the middle of the night doesn't feel scary anymore. Most people check it, then go back to sleep. But sometimes a camera captures something it shouldn't. A figure standing outside too long. Motion alerts from empty rooms. Voices coming through speakers that nobody turned on. And the worst part is, sometimes the person watching the cameras isn't the only one watching. These are 3 Ring doorbell horror stories that felt a little too real. Story 1. Motion detected. I only bought the Ring camera because of my neighbor. That's literally it. About 3 months after moving into the house, someone broke into a car 2 streets over. Nothing major happened, but the neighborhood Facebook group completely lost their minds over it. Suddenly everybody had security cameras. Everybody was posting blurry screenshots of random people walking dogs at night acting like they were criminal masterminds. I honestly didn't care at first. But my neighbor, Alan, kept going on about it every time he saw me outside. "You live alone, mate," he told me once while I was taking bins out. "At least get a camera for the front door." Eventually I gave in. Bought a Ring camera online. Installed it above the porch. Done. At first it was actually useful. Package deliveries. Neighbors knocking. One drunk guy trying to open the wrong house at 1 a.m. Normal stuff. Then the notifications started. The first one came at exactly 3:13 a.m. Motion detected. Front door. The sound jolted me awake instantly. I grabbed my phone half asleep and opened the app. Nothing there. The porch was empty. Street empty too. No movement. I assumed maybe a fox triggered it or something. Went back to sleep. The next night it happened again. 3:13 a.m. Same notification. Same empty porch. This time I checked longer. No movement. Nothing weird. I even replayed the footage. Still nothing. Just an empty front garden under the orange glow of the street light. After about a week, it started getting irritating. Every single night. 3:13 a.m. exactly. Always the same notification. Always nothing there. I almost disabled the alerts completely. But something about it bothered me. Because Ring cameras don't usually trigger for no reason. Especially not at the exact same time every night. One night I stayed awake waiting for it. I sat in bed watching YouTube with my phone beside me. 2:47 a.m. 3:02 a.m. 3:11 a.m. Then, ding. Motion detected. Front door. Instantly I opened the live feed. Empty porch. Again. But this time, I heard something. Breathing. Very faint. At first I thought it was coming from my room. Then I realized it was coming through the phone speaker. From the camera audio. Slow breathing. Like somebody standing close to the mic. I turned the volume all the way up. The porch still looked empty. But the breathing continued. Slow. Uneven. My chest tightened. "Hello," I actually said out loud like an idiot. The breathing stopped instantly. Dead silence. Then the audio crackled softly. And I heard whispering. So quiet I could barely understand it. But I definitely heard one sentence. "He looked outside tonight." I felt my stomach drop. I replayed the recording immediately. The whisper was gone. Just static. No breathing either. Nothing. I barely slept after that. The next morning I checked the motion zones in the app. Everything looked normal. No technical issues. No camera glitches. Nothing. I even contacted Ring support. The guy basically told me false alerts can happen because of insects, passing headlights, changes in lighting. Standard customer service stuff. I tried convincing myself that's all it was. Until the footage disappeared. About 4 days later, I went to show my friend the clip with the breathing. The recording was missing completely. Not corrupted. Gone. Like it never existed. Every other clip from that night was still there. But the 3:13 recording had vanished. That was the point where I genuinely started feeling uncomfortable in my own house. I started checking windows before bed. checking door locks multiple times, looking outside whenever I heard movement. Then one night, the notification came early. 3:09 a.m. Motion detected, front door. I opened the app instantly, and for the first time, there was someone there. A man standing at the edge of my driveway. Tall, wearing dark clothes, completely still. The streetlight barely reached his face. I remember my heartbeat going insane immediately. The weirdest part was the way he stood. Not like somebody waiting, not like somebody lost, just staring directly at the house, like he knew I was watching. I used the microphone feature. "Can I help you?" No response. The man didn't move, didn't blink, nothing. Then slowly, he raised one hand and pointed toward the upstairs window, my bedroom window. Every hair on my arm stood up instantly because I was standing right beside that window, watching him. Then my phone buzzed again. Another notification. Motion detected, back door. I froze, completely froze, because there was no way the man at the front could have reached the back garden that fast. I switched cameras immediately. The back garden feed loaded slowly, too slowly. Then finally, there was someone standing directly outside the back door. Same dark clothes, same height, same still posture. I remember backing away from the screen feeling genuinely sick. Front camera, back camera, two different places, at the same time. Then the front camera audio activated by itself. Static crackled loudly through my phone speaker, and a voice whispered, "Which one is real?" The live feeds both froze instantly after that, loading circles spinning endlessly. I called the police, actually called them shaking. By the time they arrived, both cameras were normal again. No people, no footage saved, nothing. The officers checked around the house and told me they couldn't find anyone. One of them even smiled slightly when he left, like he thought I'd imagined it. I almost removed the cameras after that, but I didn't. And honestly, I wish I had, because 2 nights later, at exactly 3:13 a.m., I got another notification. Except this time it didn't say motion detected. It said, front door opened. Story 2, closer every night. The first video was completely normal. That's the part that bothers me most now. Nothing creepy, nothing strange. Just a normal notification from my Ring camera while I was at work. Motion detected, front door. It showed some guy walking past the house at around 11 p.m. Didn't even look at the camera. I only remembered the clip later because of what happened afterward. At the time, I deleted it without thinking. By then I'd had the camera installed for almost a year. Mostly because my job involved night shifts, and I hated leaving the house empty overnight. The camera honestly made me feel safer, especially after coming home late. There's something comforting about checking your phone and seeing your porch empty before unlocking the front door. At least there was. A few weeks later, I was scrolling through old clips trying to find footage of a package delivery for Amazon support. That's when I noticed him again. Same guy, dark hoodie, hands in pockets, walking past the house at night. Only this time something felt off. I paused the clip, zoomed in. The man's head was turned slightly toward the camera. Not enough to see his face properly, but enough to tell he was looking directly at the house. A weird feeling settled in my stomach immediately. Not fear exactly, just discomfort. I checked another clip from the next night. There he was again. Same time, walking past slowly, head turned toward the house. Then another clip, and another. Every single night. Always between 10:50 and 11:10 p.m. Always the same dark hoodie. Always walking the same direction. I remember sitting there at my desk feeling genuinely unsettled now. Because it didn't look random anymore. It looked routine. Like he was checking the house. The worst part was how subtle it was. If I hadn't gone back through old footage, I never would have noticed. I showed the clips to my friend Marcus the next day. He laughed immediately. "Bro, it's probably just some guy walking home." And honestly, that explanation made sense. So I tried letting it go. Until I checked the next night's notification. The man had stopped walking. He was standing directly across the street from my house. Still, just staring. The clip lasted 30 seconds. He didn't move once. I replayed it over and over, trying to understand why it bothered me so much. There was something unnatural about how still he stood, like the video had frozen. Except the trees in the background were moving from the wind. The timestamp read 11:03 p.m. Then the next night came. Another notification. This time the man was standing closer. Not across the street anymore. Now he was on the pavement directly outside my neighbor's house, facing my front door. Still not moving. I remember feeling my chest tighten slightly while watching it, because now it felt deliberate, like he was getting closer. I started checking the camera every night after that, obsessively, waiting for the notification. And every night he appeared closer to the house, across the street, neighbor's driveway, near my mailbox, then standing at the edge of my garden, always perfectly still, always facing the front door, never showing his face clearly. I stopped sleeping properly after that. Every tiny sound outside made me check the app. Every passing car made me look through the curtains. One night I almost called the police. But what was I supposed to tell them? There's a guy standing outside sometimes. It sounded ridiculous. Then came the clip that changed everything. I was at home when the notification came through. 11:07 p.m. Motion detected. Front door. I opened the live feed immediately. The porch was empty. No man. Nothing. I felt relief instantly. Like maybe the whole thing was over. Then I noticed something near the bottom corner of the screen. A shoe. My stomach dropped immediately. Someone was standing directly underneath the camera, too close for the lens to capture properly. I could only see part of one shoe, and the edge of dark clothing, completely motionless. I remember backing away from my phone instinctively, heart pounding now. Then the audio activated. Soft static at first, then breathing. Slow breathing, right beside the microphone. I muted the phone instantly. My chest felt tight. I don't even know why. Something about hearing someone that close to the front door made the whole situation suddenly feel real. Then came 3 knocks. Not on the app. On the actual front door downstairs. I froze completely. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. The knocks came again. Slow. Heavy. My entire body felt cold now. I stayed upstairs in silence for what felt like forever. Eventually the motion notification ended. No more sounds. Nothing. About 10 minutes later, I forced myself to check the live feed again. The porch was empty. I barely slept that night. The next morning I opened the app again to replay the footage. And that's when I noticed something that made me feel genuinely sick. The man wasn't getting closer every night. Not exactly. The timestamps were changing too. Each clip was recorded slightly later than the last, by a few seconds each night. 11:03, 11:04, 11:05, 11:06. Like he was timing something, counting down. That realization stayed in my head all day. Then that night, I got home early from work. Around 10:30 p.m. For the first time in weeks, I decided to sit downstairs with all the lights off and wait. I don't know why. Part of me wanted proof. Part of me wanted to see his face. At 11:08 p.m., my phone buzzed. Motion detected. Front door. My heart immediately started hammering. I opened the live feed slowly. And there he was, standing directly outside the front door, closer than ever before. The camera still couldn't fully capture his face because of the hood, but now I could see his smile. A faint smile, like he knew I was watching him. Then slowly, he lifted one hand and pointed directly at the camera. At me. I remember standing up instantly. adrenaline kicking in hard now. And then the live audio crackled. A distorted voice came through the speaker. Quiet, almost whispering. "You checked too early." Before I could even process what that meant, the motion alert ended. The feed froze, and every light in my house shut off at once. Complete darkness. My stomach dropped instantly. Then I heard movement upstairs. Slow footsteps. Inside the house. Above me. I grabbed my phone flashlight and pointed it toward the staircase. Nothing there. But the footsteps continued. Soft. Slow. Moving across the hallway upstairs. My chest felt like it was going to explode. Because there was only one way somebody could have gotten upstairs that fast. They'd already been inside before the power went out. Then my Ring app sent one final notification. Not motion detected. Not person detected. Just, back door opened. Story 3. The voice through the speaker. The first time it happened, I thought my phone connected to the speaker system by accident. That's honestly the only reason I didn't panic immediately. I'd just moved into the house about 2 months earlier. Nothing huge. Small place. 2 floors. Quiet neighborhood. The previous owner had installed one of those full smart home systems before selling it. Smart lights. Smart thermostat. Ring cameras. Voice-controlled speakers in almost every room. At first I thought it was cool. Being able to turn lights on with your voice feels futuristic for about 3 days. Then it just becomes normal. The Ring camera synced directly to the speaker system too. So whenever motion was detected outside, the hallway speaker would announce it automatically. Motion detected at front door. Useful during deliveries. Terrifying later on. The first strange thing happened around midnight. I was downstairs watching YouTube when the hallway speaker crackled suddenly. Static. Then, motion detected at front door. I checked the app. Nothing there. No person. No movement. I figured maybe a cat walked past. Then the speaker activated again about 30 seconds later. But this time the voice sounded wrong. Not the normal automated Ring voice. Softer somehow. Almost human. There's someone outside. I remember staring toward the hallway immediately. The little speaker mounted near the ceiling sat completely still. No notification came through on my phone. No alert. Nothing. Just silence afterward. I walked to the front window carefully and looked outside. Empty street. No movement. No people. That uneasy feeling stayed with me the rest of the night though. Something about hearing the system speak without an alert felt deeply wrong. The next morning, I checked the app history. No motion detection at midnight. No recordings. Nothing. I even checked whether maybe Alexa had glitched somehow. Everything looked normal. For about a week, nothing else happened. Then one night around 2 a.m., the speaker activated again. Static burst loudly through the hallway. Then, back door. That was it. Just those 2 words. My stomach tightened immediately. Because this time I knew I hadn't imagined it. I grabbed my phone and opened the backyard camera feed instantly. The garden was empty. But the back door was slightly open. Only by an inch. Still enough. I know I locked it earlier. I went cold instantly. I remember standing at the bottom of the stairs staring toward the kitchen. The back door sat at the far end of the room. Darkness outside beyond the glass. Part of me wanted to run upstairs and call the police. But another part kept thinking maybe I genuinely forgot to shut it properly. So I walked toward it slowly. Every light in the kitchen reflected off the glass. I couldn't see outside properly. Then the speaker crackled again behind me. Loud enough to make me jump. Don't. I froze. Actually froze mid-step. The voice sounded clearer this time. Closer. Almost whispering directly behind my ear. My chest tightened hard. Then slowly, the back door began moving. Not opening wider. Closing. Very slowly by itself. Until it clicked shut. Silence. I backed away instantly. Locked it properly. Checked every room downstairs. Nothing there. No signs of anyone. I barely slept after that. The next morning I unplugged every smart speaker in the house. Every single one. I genuinely thought that would fix everything. It didn't. That night around 1:43 a.m., I woke up to static. My eyes opened immediately. The bedroom speaker mounted above the wardrobe was active, even though I'd unplugged it earlier. Static hissed softly through the darkness. Then the voice whispered. He unplugged them. My entire body went cold. I sat upright, instantly staring at the speaker. Another voice answered from downstairs. A different speaker. He's awake now. I felt genuine panic for the first time then. Not discomfort. Not paranoia. Panic. Because the voices weren't robotic anymore. They sounded real. Like actual people speaking quietly through the system. Then another speaker activated somewhere downstairs. Kitchen area. Checked the cameras. My hands were shaking while I opened the Ring app. Front door camera. Empty. Back garden. Empty. Driveway. Empty. Then I opened the indoor hallway camera. And my stomach dropped instantly. Someone was standing downstairs. Tall. Dark clothes. Face hidden. Completely motionless in the hallway beneath my bedroom. I stopped breathing for a second. The figure stood directly underneath the hallway speaker. Then the speaker above my bed crackled again. He sees you. The figure downstairs slowly tilted its head upward. Toward the camera. Toward me. I scrambled backward across the bed immediately, almost dropping my phone. Then all the lights in the house shut off at once. Pitch black. Every speaker activated simultaneously. Static exploding through every room. Then voices. Dozens of overlapping whispers throughout the house. Too distorted to understand properly. Except for one sentence repeating over and over. Open the bedroom door. I locked it instantly. Heart pounding so hard I felt sick. Then came footsteps downstairs. Slow. Heavy. Walking across the hallway. The Ring app kept buffering endlessly now. The hallway camera frozen. The figure still standing there unmoving on the screen. Then the footsteps started climbing the stairs. One step at a time. The voices through the speakers suddenly stopped together. Complete silence. Then one final whisper came through the bedroom speaker. Right beside me. He's outside the door now. 3 soft knocks hit the bedroom door immediately after. Tap. 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 I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Then my phone buzzed with a Ring notification. Live view active. Bedroom camera. My stomach dropped instantly because I didn't OWN a bedroom camera. I opened the notification slowly. And nearly through the phone. The live feed showed my bedroom from the top corner near the ceiling. Like a hidden camera watching the room. Watching me. And standing directly behind me near the bed. Was the same dark figure from downstairs. Completely silent. Watching the screen with me. Security cameras are supposed to make people feel safe. But sometimes, they record things you were never meant to notice. A shadow outside the door. A voice through the speaker. Someone standing just outside the camera frame. And once you start checking the footage too often, you begin noticing things that were probably always there. There are more stories like this on my channel. If you're willing to keep looking, subscribe. If you think you can handle the next one, I'll see you again. If the cameras don't see you first.